Chapter 4 The Price of Not Saving. A bloodied man carrying a bloody man. Yan Mo went to look and someone followed by several people behind him. Someone was holding a spear in his hand and had blood on his body. The woman and the 2 children cried while running. Several people ran into the tent that the woman ran out, and they vaguely heard someone shouting, "Have you gone to the healer yet?" "I have already gone," someone replied. Cao Ting slammed her mouth and squatted down. She said, "That is the 3rd-rank warrior T.A.G. Seeing that he this badly hurt, I don't know if he can be saved, and if he won't be saved then his family. It will be in bad situation later." Yan Mo returned his gaze. The warrior whose name was T.A.G had a broken leg. The broken bone was poking out of the skin. There may be injuries in the abdomen. Otherwise, it is impossible for someone to bleed so much blood. According to the blood flow from the man, if the bleeding is not stopped within an hour, then this man called T.A.G will go to the Death King in the afterlife. Maybe this is an opportunity for Yan Mo, but it did not come at the best time for him. Yan Mo bowed his head and pretended to unwittingly spread the right palm. He saw a book appearing again. The open book was lit with a similar content to the last time. Teach others knowledge, scum value -1, total scum value of 9999998 points. What is this? What is the use of it? If you change it to someone else who is informed and after seeing such a thing appear in your own palm, you might be freaked out first. But Yan Mo, who worked on billions of households, was committed to making himself a good person. He was trying to make himself better than others, doing everything he can to make money, and spending a lot of time on learning, drilling, work, and other various business activities. He lived to 39 years old, and he had never played an online game, have not seen a network novel, even the martial arts novels that everyone looked around like crazies in junior high school. Yan Mo didn't read those. And watching TV, apart from the news, he barely watched other programs. He occasionally went to the movies, but it is also very rare. He knows the soul rebirth, but also suffers from the fact that several children in a movie and news have committed suicide in order to cross over. He always felt that his time was not enough, like he was lacking time. He couldn't even understand why the young people could spend so much time on the internet and talk about time-wasting things like love. If those people wasting time give their extra lives to him, his achievements before death would definitely be more than that, and he will use those extra lives to make himself richer and more powerful. Maybe he can escape. But even if he is lonely and ignorant, he also heard that the local government judge has a merit book that records all the creatures in the world. Does the thing that appears in his right palm belong to the same series? This thing appear directly to him. Is it to warn him? Does it play a role of prison guard? So Yan Mo, seeing such a thing, first of all he was not excited, but an anger that is controlled and monitored by others. Yan Mo sneered at the word scum that appeared in the Banished guide. In the words of his own grandmother, he was not a good omen when he was born. Although he felt that he was very honest and kind when he was a child, everyone said that he would not bother to deny it. Thoughts are accidentally caught in the memories of the past, which makes Yan Mo very grim and hateful of his current life. He doesn't like to recall the past, but hates memories of the past 20 years old. He doesn't like himself or what he was before the age of 20. He didn't like the family, friends, relatives, and all the people he met in those 20 years. He hates that time period. Since the age of 20, he has told himself that he will not allow himself to regret anything in the future. Sometimes people accidentally take a wrong step, they will be feeling wrong, step by step, and then they will not be able to turn back. They can only know that it is wrong and continue to move forward. In fact, he always knew that he had gone the wrong way, and his outlook on life, values, and morality were ruined, but he was stubbornly reluctant to admit that he was making mistakes or even sinning until he lost most of his goodness in his life. He is now willing to exchange all the treasures to get back to that time. He suddenly thought of the words that he used to curse and insult God before he died. He can't remember the exact words he said, but he still remembers that he seems to mention God's penis. He seemed to curse God by saying that he was an unfair man, and asked why he wants to bring retribution to the innocent head. He had a lot of anger. It was his last vent, and it is his only regret. Does that curse have anything to do with this transmigration? Does the banishment guide appearing in his palms implicitly indicate what? He has now reduced his scum value by 2 points. If he reduced the scum value by 100 million points? What can he get? Or what does God plans about him? Yan Mo is a very realistic person. He doesn't think that God will make him save the world. He has to make a copy of his guide to record his merits. Regardless of who is the person who brought him to this world, the other party must have a purpose. I need a promise. Yan Mo said to his right hand in Chinese. Cao Ting looked up at him. What did you say? Yan Mo smiled weakly. Nothing, it is a few spells that the old priest handed me, saying that it can speed up the injury and drive away the disease. Oh, sorry. I should not be bothering you then. Cao Ting was in a hurry. Nothing, you didn't interrupt. Yan Mo gave Cao Ting a peace of mind and continued to ask his right hand. I want to promise. If I honestly stay in this world and transform, if I can reach 0 scum, what can you give me? The page did not respond and did not seem to have the function of communication. Yan Mo was not discouraged. He muttered to himself, since you are the guide, then you will at least tell me what to do, then why do you ignore me? Guide, book. Since it is a book, how can it answer me? Of course, you have to check it yourself, the book. Do you have a directory? Right? I want to see the directory. Show the directory. The book has responded this time. Several pages have been turned over and stopped, and a page titled Directory appeared. Yan Mo only took a general glance and judged that 90% of the guides can lead to him finding the answer he wanted, but now is not a good time to read this. Yan Mo took a deep breath and pressed his right hand and let go of his suspicion. He continued to deal with his injuries. The guide seems to be able to tell if Yan Mo is watching it. When Yan Mo gripped his right hand, it automatically disappeared. The rotten meat has been scraped, revealing the fresh flesh and blood below. Picking up the wooden scoop that was also boiled, and taking a spoonful of salt water, Yan Mo took a sip and felt that the concentration was still okay. Oh ah ah ah! Yan Mo trembled, his neck and head blood vessels swelled high, and the 5 senses twisted. Cao Ting was scared her ass off and then sat down on the ground. After reacting, she immediately rushed over and asked, what happened to little Mo? What did you do? God! Yan Mo sweated and leaned on the water tank for a while to restore his balance. He cannot do this, but in the absence of drugs, a certain concentration of salt water can not only play a role in blood clotting, but also disinfection. His wounds have been infected for too long, even if the wound looks like new, he also does not dare to care about pain. Cao Ting did not understand why Yan Mo had to torture himself. Not only did he use a stone knife to scrape his own meat, but he also poured salt water. Is this the treatment taught by the Salt Mountain priest? God, that priest is cruel than the old priest of Yuan tribe. Hey, this child is really pitiful. In the future, not only will he have to be a slave man, but he will have to suffer such a crime first. There is absolutely no idea in Cao Ting's heart of how Yan Mo can heal his broken leg. She feels that Yan Mo can make his wounds grow well. It will be very bad if he doesn't die like other slaves. The screams from Yan Mo did not attract the attention of others. There are many slaves screaming for various reasons. Moreover, the crying from T.A.G tent was enough to cover up other noises nearby. Yan Mo sat up straight, put his right leg right, and because he didn't eat too much for 2 days. He felt that he had to lie down and couldn't move at this time, but he hadn't eaten for 2 days. Like the wound, there seems to be a strange energy in his body supporting him. Thirst, hunger, pain, dizziness. These negative feelings have not disappeared. It is like someone has a deep hatred against him. In order to punish him, he tortured him, while hanging his life, making him be consciously while he enjoys everything. Yan Mo, who was sweating, he looked up lazily and raised his left hand, pointing a middle finger against the blue sky. Cao Ting thought that Yan Mo was continuing to cast a spell. 4 tall, dark-skinned, tattooed warriors accompanied an old man with a scepter and a teenager walked from a small road. Yan Mo turned his head and guessed the identity of the old man. As soon as he saw the old man, Cao Ting immediately changed his face. Yan Mo, who was sitting on the water tank, pushed his face down. "Don't move, close your eyes." Cao Ting said slowly and quickly. According to Yan Mo, she changed his mind and made him kneel waiting for the old man and the warriors to go down. None of the 6 people who walked past gave them a look. Cao Ting turned slightly sideways, secretly saw the old man walking into the tent. She gently sighed with relief, relaxed the suppressing hand on Yan Mo. "Who is that?" Yan Mo slowly sat up and asked under the support of Cao Ting. "It's the priest and his disciple." Later, you remember, looking at the warriors is good, but when you see the priests, elders, and chiefs, no matter what you are doing at that time, you must bow down and not look up at them. If you can't bow down, just lie down or squat down and pretend to be dead. If I didn't do it." Cao Ting looked at him mercifully. "So even your master can't keep you from a punishment? What punishment will I get?" "Punishment? Oh, it depends on their mood at the time." Yan Mo. The evil slavery society. But even if he is not a slave, watching the face of the old priest is not like a generous person. If he offends him, he will not have any good fruit to eat. Can the priests treat the injuries on Dahi? Yan Mo asked in a low voice. Of course. Cao Ting is of course authentic. Oh. It seems that the priest's medical skills are more powerful than he thought. It's just that Dahi will leave that life at this time. I am afraid that even if he is saved he can no longer be a warrior. Cao Ting was sad, and Dahi is a good person, just as good as her master. In the future if Dahi can no longer be warriors, what should his wife and children do? Can't be a warrior again? Why? Cao Ting looked at him strangely. He is hurt so badly, his bones poked out, even if he doesn't get his hand cut, he can't use it later, and he still has the right hand for carrying the weapon. The priests here can't treat broken bones, so Yan Mo still has some value. It's just that the priest is not as good as him. If he goes out of the way to treat the injury, he may not be able to ask for reward. Maybe he will be hated by the priest. These high-powered people are used to being worshipped by people. Will they be happy to be beaten up by a young boy? Imagine that an old professor who is highly respected in the medical profession has encountered a case that cannot be handled. Others have said that the patient cannot be saved. As a result, an intern jumped out to say that he can cure this disease. It is too simple. Is this not going to lead to the professor losing his face? Looking to the old professor, can it turn to look at him differently? Can he count on other people to worship him immediately? Shit. He still have to pray that the old professor is a kind and generous, open-minded, and really good person. He had never touched such a person before, and the lessons were adequate enough. The old priest, with his experience in watching people, he dared to bet with his own life, he is definitely not a broad-minded lord. In this case, this time he will not take the lead, and honestly take care of his own injuries first and then say the other. Cao Ting wiped the sweat from Yan Mo and fed him some water and see him start playing with his wounds. He immediately felt that the child was strong. If the Salt Mountain people were not attacked by the Ji people, would the child grow into a powerful warrior? Maybe he can reach 3rd rank? But now it is impossible, and Cao Ting's eyes fell on Yan Mo's broken leg. No matter how strong the warrior is, once he is disabled, he may be just a downgrade, but most of them will completely become civilians. Although as a reward, the property before the relegation of the warriors will not be taken away, but there is no way for the civilians to contribute more to the tribe. How can the tribe support the extra slaves and family? Yan Mo didn't see the sympathy from Cao Ting, but he didn't plan to be a slave all the time, waiting to be hurt. Yan Mo said that Cao Ting gave him the small stone pot, and he used a stone knife as a scraper. Rotten eucalyptus leaves were evenly applied to the wound. Sister, I want to ask you to help me a little. It's very simple, don't be afraid, grab my leg like this, right, just grab it. Yan Mo instructed Cao Ting to grab his right leg. I need to connect the broken bones right, but now because the bones were broken for a little longer, the flesh shrunk. You need to pull the flesh first, so look at my head, when I nod, you will rotate my calf in your direction until you reach the broken bone. You can face it. Yan Mo felt like Cao Ting was not able to understand the words, so he said them 3 times, until Cao Ting hesitated. He breathed and found a peeled wooden stick of the right size and stuffed it into his mouth. The young girl helped grip his right leg and he took a deep breath twice. He was again sitting in the downward direction. After he was prepared, he nodded to Cao Ting. Cao Ting didn't work hard, she didn't dare, but her strength was obviously bigger than Yan Mo thought, only a slight turn. Ah! Yan Mo bite the stick in the mouth, but he can't faint now. As the skin was pulled apart, he immediately straightened his leg bones and reconnected the broken bones as closely as possible. Applying the eucalyptus leaf juice, this stuff is not useful for healing the broken bone, but at least it can reduce inflammation and stop the bleeding. Grabbing the wooden sticks, he placed them on the left and right places in advance and fixed them on the sides of the broken legs, and tie them tightly with the straw. 1. This is like a primitive way of pop. Yan Mo's processing speed is quite fast. Although he has various problems and his character is not good, but he has real skills in his hands, and he is an embarrassment to others and more embarrassed to himself. When Yan Mo dealt with himself, the teenager who was next to the priest came out of the tent with a wooden stick and put the stick into the fire pit to burn. After a while, the teenager entered the tent with a burning wooden stick. After a while, screaming sounds broke through the sky, and it resonated far and wide. Yan Mo's hand tied to the straw rope tight, and he felt vaguely smelled the burnt smell of the flesh. But he only paused a bit, and he continued to deal with himself if nothing happened. How did it shine again? Yan Mo opened his right palm and saw that the book was written this time. Not saving a dying man, the scum value is increased by +10, and the total scum value is 100,000,000,008. This words disappeared after 5 seconds, and another sentence appeared. The scum value exceeded 100 million points and the punishment of torture is to be imposed on him 8 times. In order not to affect the daily reformation of the Banished, the penalty is 1 round of torture per night. The second implementation, so as to not to reduce the value of the scum. Yan Mo. Fuck me.